I started my career as a dancer. I went to ballet school in London when I was very young, a young teenager. And the first years of my career were in the theatre. I was um, a dancer, an actor. I became a choreographer and a director. And I stuck at that and was traveling the world and being quite successful until I was in my very early 30s, at which point I had a moment where I just decided that I didn't want to do it anymore. I'd had enough. I'd been traveling a lot. I was sick and tired of hotels and aeroplanes. And
I thought you might say that that was the culprit.
it was the culprit. And it's quite a lonely life. If you're not established in a relationship or a partnership or marriage, it's quite a lonely life to be a peripatetic choreographer, director, just going from company to company, country to country. So I did have a moment where I thought that everything was done for me. And so I dropped out and took stock. And my second career as an artist began after a few years of having been in the wilderness a little bit. And I thought that I would not have a career as an artist. I thought that I'd started too late. I have to say that I love both the music and the text. I think that they marry together wonderfully. Although you know that in the version performed with actors, that very often the music stops when the narrator is speaking. And I think that's one of the great strengths of it, because I don't know about you, you might feel very differently about this, but as an audience, I always find myself wishing in opera that I could just lie down in the aisles and close my eyes and listen to it, because I find it very difficult to watch the complexities of a performance and hear everything that I know I want to hear within the libretto and the music. And so with The Soldier's Tale, I think it's very clever that they decided to have sections where you listen to the narrator and then you listen to the music, because it enables me as a member of the audience to get the most out of it. I can concentrate on the music when I need to concentrate on the music and concentrate on the actors. But the text for it is wonderful. And so when we made the version to be done without a narrator, I was constantly reading the text and using those words, which are so powerful, in order to convey the story. So although you don't hear the words in that version, I like to think that they are present because they were so much to the front of my mind. And the music too, you know, the music, I've been around The Soldier's Tale for so long, so many decades of my life, that for me, making visuals that are a comfortable accompaniment to the music, I don't even think about it. You know, when you're constrained by working with little bits of paper and animation and telling the story briefly and simply, you can simplify in a way that is to the benefit of it. You know, very often when I found myself in production meetings, or I have found myself in production meetings throughout my life, where you know, somebody is there saying this has to be cut and we have no money for that, I often find those are the most creative moments.
Yes.
When you think, well, do you know, maybe we don't need what we thought we needed. Maybe we can just present it very simply. And a little toy house in a chest is, you know, just as, it's more purposeful in a way and more understandable to an audience than something that's more elaborate.
It's the power of economically tight poetic verse, but in your case, tight visual expression.
And we already have such richness and nuance and layering in the music. You really don't need to double up on that with the visuals. It's my problem with so much in entertainment that you have incredibly rich music and incredibly rich visuals, and everything just kind of becomes clotted and congested. Sometimes simplicity is perfect. One of the things that I find most tender about this whole story, it's not Faust. You know, in Faust, Faust knows exactly what he's doing when he signs his pact with the devil. He is willing to make that sacrifice. He tries to wriggle out of it, of course, but he knows what he's doing. Joseph has no idea when he's targeted by the devil what he is giving up by giving the devil his violin. He has no idea that the violin in some way is an externalized soul for him. And in fact, in the dialogue, in the spoken version, you hear Joseph saying, well, you know, it's an old violin, it's just an old fiddle, it's not worth anything, you don't really want it. He doesn't deny the devil, he tries to dissuade him just because he thinks it's a bad deal, and he doesn't want the book, he doesn't even know what the book is. So he's cheated on, and he's caught in something that he doesn't realize at the beginning. It isn't until way into the story that he begins to realize what he's lost. And I think that's where the tragedy lies with Joseph. He's not a bad man. He's not a cheat. He's not acquisitive. He's just perfectly happy going home on furlough to see his fiancée when he's interrupted in that by the devil. And that, for me, affects how I feel about the whole story. And in a way, I think it's a horrid story, but I also think that it's infinitely more truthful than Faust, because it better reflects the way life really is. And the fact that Joseph comes out of it badly at the end is a massive tragedy, because he has tried throughout to do the right things.